What is going on with the banks? The banks, we know we cannot trust the banks. That's why we're in crypto. We fundamentally left the traditional financial system because we wanted to enter a new system that was decentralized. We actually were able to hold our value because Bitcoin, something like Bitcoin, has a finite supply of 21 million Bitcoin, an inflation schedule every 4 years. And on top of that, you don't have to trust anybody. It's a trustless system, whether that's you actually owning your own value or sending and receiving that value without an intermediary giving you that permission. This fundamental reason of Bitcoin comes into play more often than not, especially when you're dealing with big banks like Bank of America. Now, if you guys want to rewind a little bit, back in January of this year, January of 2023, Bank of America got slammed because they were missing money. Money was disappearing from people's accounts. Now, if your money was your money, wouldn't your balance always be there? Wouldn't you always be able to go and get that money if you needed it? That balance should never change, right? Well, wrong. We generally trust our bank or financial institution to keep our hard-earned money safe. With tech, banking feels even simpler and more secure, as you can monitor all of your balances. But if you're worried about the security of your money when you're using online banking, you might not want to hear about the recent experiences that Bank of America customers had, which was that they woke up missing money. On the morning of January 18th, Bank of America customers logged into their accounts and were shocked to find that their Zelle payments weren't there or had disappeared entirely. As a result, some customers were left with minimal funds and were overdrawn. Customers were unable to get through to Bank of America customer service, with many heading to Twitter to lodge their complaints. So I woke up to find hella Zelle deposits missing from my Bank of America account. January 18th from GN Cordova reads, quote, when I called customer service, they said due to extenuating circumstances, we cannot take your call, and the phone hung up. Some customers were missing thousands of dollars, and some weren't even aware until their debit cards were declined, including one person who said they couldn't even purchase milk. The issue was resolved, but neither company is taking responsibility. Spikes in outrage for both Bank of America and Zelle were reported yesterday morning on the news website downdetector.com per time. But while the situation was being sorted out, Zelle pointed the finger at Bank of America by telling the New York Daily News that Zelle transactions were outside of Bank of America weren't affected. On Twitter, Zelle reported that they were aware of the issue, noting that both the Zelle app and the network were up and running. The support account recommended that customers reach out to Bank of America's support team instead. Bank of America, however, blamed a technical glitch on Zelle's end. Imagine you wake up and your money is missing, and it's just a technical glitch, and you're saying, oh my gosh, my money isn't there, I can't buy milk. Let me call the bank and see what's up, and then they hang up on you. That can happen at every bank, no matter how big it is. Bank of America is probably one of the biggest banks in the world. Done. They could shut it off at any time. And that's what people don't understand. The big banks won't go down. The big banks can't even be touched until they are. Until they just flip a switch and your money's not there anymore. To me, that sounds like a test, which brings us into the new news today. Literally almost 6 months later to the day, Bank of America was hit with $250 million in fines and refunds for double-dipping fees and creating credit card accounts without customer consent. So again, you're trusting the banks with your data, your finances, and your life, and now they are completely taking advantage of it. Bank of America will reimburse customers more than $100 million and pay $150 million in fines for double dipping and overdraft fees, withholding reward bonuses on credit cards, and opening accounts without customer consent. Combined, it is one of the highest financial penalties in years against Bank of America, which has largely spent the last 15 years trying to clean up its reputation and market itself to the public as a bank focused on financial health and not an overdraft fee income and financial trickery. BOFA, must refund Bank of America, must refund $100 million to customers, pay $90 million in penalties to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and $60 million to the Office of Comptroller of the Currency. Quote, Bank of America wrongfully withheld credit card rewards, double-dipped on fees, and opened accounts without consent, said the CFPB Director Rohit Chopra in a statement. These practices are illegal and undermine customer trust. Empowered by the broad mandate from the White House, Chopra and the Bureau have focused heavily in the past year on the issue of junk fees, fees charged to Americans that are often seen as unnecessary or exploitative by banks, debt collectors, airlines, and concert venues. Banks such as Bank of America, JP Morgan, Chase, Wells Fargo, and others have been a target of the Bureau under the Biden administration. Part of the fines and penalties come because Bank of America had a policy of charging customers $35 after the bank declined the transaction because the customer didn't have enough funds in their account. The agency determined that the bank double-dipped by allowing fees to be repeatedly charged for the same transaction. They also found that at least since 2012, Bank of America employees illegally applied for and enrolled consumers in credit card accounts without their knowledge or authorization. It is similar to, but smaller than, a charge that was made against Wells Fargo, which paid billions in fines after it was determined that the San Francisco bank opened millions of unauthorized bank accounts in order to meet unrealistic sales goals. In 2014, the CFPB ordered Bank of America to pay $727 million for illegal credit card practices. Last year, it was ordered to pay $10 million to civil penalty over unlawful garnishment. Also in 2022, the CFPB and OCC fined Bank of America $225 million and required it to pay hundreds of millions of dollars in redress to customers for botched disbursement of state unemployment benefits at the height of COVID-19 pandemic. Bank of America is robbing you. Actually robbing you. They're opening credit card accounts without customer consent. If you already do not have money, if you are broke, you can't even buy freaking milk, and your card declines, then you get charged $35 for having no money. If your money was your money, wouldn't they just let you use the money that you have? Would they not charge you for not keeping anything with them? Does it hurt the bank that there's no money in there? Oh, yeah, it does, because now they can't use your money for illicit activities like this. Bank of America has paid billions of dollars in fines at this point because they cannot encapsulate what they're supposed to do, which is hold your money and not do anything else with it. Just another reminder that your money is not your money. The only way you could look at your balance on an app and know your money is actually there is if you have a cryptocurrency wallet. You open your Bitcoin wallet and you know that you actually own the crypto that's on that wallet, and that balance that's there is actually there because you're in control of it, because it's actually more tangible, Bitcoin, than your money that's in the bank. Once you give your money to the bank, you are trusting them to do the right thing by you. It's a trust system. With Bitcoin, it's trustless. You trust yourself. You own your own money. You send and receive that whenever you want. You never worry about your bank account not being there, your balance going to zero, and you being stopped from buying certain things. Because that's exactly what happens in TradFi. And that's exactly why we need to educate people on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency.